Welcome to the channel. This is the Ducati Dads. My name is Tim, and a few weeks ago, a simple drop right here at this spot. Oh no. Almost totaled my bike. We're gonna go through that breakdown and the journey to repair all in this video. Now let's go back a few months.
So it's been a few weeks since the Street Fighter fell over when Will was helping move it. We got in contact with insurance, talked to the dealership, talked to a bunch of different people. The fuel tank is cracked.
All right, so Will accidentally dropped my bike.
We've got a few different options. Now, as you can see on the pictures, this crack's kind of in a funny spot, but talked to a few people and they think that they might be able to fix it. The other option is obviously buying a brand new fuel tank for like $3,800 from Ducati. All of the used options on places like eBay, everybody wants the world for their used one, basically brand new value. There's one on there that was dented. They wanted like $1,000 for it. Now, I understand the brand, the parts, extent of this fuel tank, because the fuel tank itself actually extends all the way back. Majority of the tank is underneath the seat. So I'm loading up right now. We're going to take the Street Fighter or Furio over to Bonimoto. All right, we're over here at Bonimoto's. One of the things that I wanted to do I was already planning on doing was it's Desmo time for my bike. It's almost at 15,000 miles and a Desmo service popped up. So I was already going to be doing that. But with Will dropping my bike, that kind of went and sped certain things up that I was planning on doing on the channel. One of them was getting a tune on the bike so that we could go faster at the drag strip and then have some more fun when we go on track days. Not that I'm quite at the skill level to utilize 220 plus horsepower, but I wanted to do it. This is something I wanted to do. But while it was already here, getting service done, it made the most sense to go ahead and line that up. Now, in regards to the tank, perfect timing. It was almost like we planned it. We're going to see if we can't get it repaired because the $3,800 for a brand new one is kind of steep. And as you can see right here, there's the crack. And one of the things I wanted to check out was how far up underneath there it is damaged. All right. We just got it drained out. I'm going to load it up in the back of the truck. But look at this. Yep. Yeah, there we go. Got the tank off. And now, part of the reason why Desmo services are so expensive, or just the services on a Ducati are really expensive, is because a lot of the bikes are built around the engine. Like, quite literally. On the V4, everything is bolted to the engine. There isn't really a frame to speak of. And in order to get to the cylinder heads, you have to remove pretty much the bike in order to get access to everything that you need. So, radiator comes off. This one right here is pretty accessible.
Subframe.
Subframe right here comes off. Like, pretty much everything will come off. And paying for the professionals to do it, like, it's their time. That's what they do during the day. If you have the capabilities of doing it, by all means, you got the time, go for it. But there's a lot of things like technicians, they do this day in and day out, so they're able to do it very efficiently, but they deserve to get paid for their time. And that's why I come over to Bonnie. He's the best. All right. Now, we're going to head home. It's Will's party. And We're gonna chalk this one up to life lessons. But you're gonna build it, rebuild it, build it better. Let's go.
39.
39.
Yes.
Okay, I'm 42.
Okay. All right.
So I got this helmet because it's kind of like relates to my age as an older guy.
Okay. Okay.
It's like a funny ass helmet though.
Is it like vintage or no?
It's a special.
That's bad though, man. I'm aging both of us right now by saying that, but
It's a special edition Rossi helmet, but it's like very specifically themed helmet.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so this was a specific
You might have seen it
race.
before. Misano 2020,
Okay.
if I'm correct about the year that he wore this helmet.
Oh my God.
That's just funny though. I can't resist not getting this thing, dude.
Right. And people are always like, why do you spend so much money on a pista? But oh hell yeah.
Fucking Viagra helmet, bro.
Yeah. Oh, let's go.
Right, the blue pill with the fucking
Oh.
to push here.
Push.
Like,
Dude, that is.
it's just hilarious, bro. Right? It's just so funny.
It's on that side too.
Yeah. So like, yeah, dude, see 46 milligrams.
Now, can we flip it over real quick? I wanted to see the inside because
yeah.
I see something super cool. And that's
Oh yeah.
the water tube.
This is their race replica helmet. So this is the same spec that the GP riders wear, or at least at the time.
Dude, that is cool.
So this can connect
To your pack.
to the pack, which is in the hump of those suits. But I'm not going to use this shit. It's just part of the helmet. But
Oh, dude, that is cool.
Yeah,
I like this. There's so many details.
Yeah.
So many details in here.
it's a
RR race replica.
it's numbered one. So
What? Dude, that is cool. I freaking love that.
it's cool, man.
I love it.
I picked this up a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. So now you gonna wear it, or is it going on the wall?
No, I'll wear it.
Okay. All right.
I use my shit, man. I just haven't yet.
Yeah.
My bike's actually down right now.
Oh no. Wait. Is it down because it laid down, or is it down because it needs work?
My clutch,
Uh,
my dry clutch.
oh,
So
yeah.
All right, this morning I went over to a local welder who does mobile welding, but I went to his shop and got the fuel tank repaired. So Monday, I'll be able to take the tank over to Bonnie Moto and we'll be able to slap it together, and I should have the bike back by the end of the week. There it is. My God, I've missed it so much. Oh, scratches and all. Ooh. Oh, yep. There's my little hee-hee. Right there. I'm going to paint that up, though. Yeah, Daddy's bike.
Happy to see you again. Okay.
You know?
Did you miss this? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, my God. I have not heard this thing in so long. Oh my God. Woo. Dude, it sounds so good. We're all loaded up. We're going to take it back to the house.
Now, as far as the damage that was done during the drop, okay, I'm out here riding and playing with it, and all that good stuff. We've got new winglets coming from Moto Composites. I went on to their website because I've heard some really good things about them. And then these fairings here, I'm gonna replace those with some from Moto Composites. This little hee here from the welder, or from having to get the tank repaired, that is gonna get painted, get sanded, and like all cleaned up. The big issue that I'm having right now is this this case right here. You need to either replace it or hopefully like some Bondo, right? Because that's a magnesium case, so you can't just weld it up. But yeah. And then, I mean, it needs a good bath. Now I do kind of want to go, and while I'm all at it with all the other modifications, I want to get rid of the chrome freaking grill covers or whatever, you know, whatever these are, radiator guard things. Moto Composites has got an amazing assortment of carbon fiber bits and bobs and whatnot. They are kind of spendy, but I will let you know what I think of the winglets when I get them. There's also a pretty large lead time when it comes to those parts, like 6 weeks, because they make them per order. They don't go and pre-make them. Now, this sticker here, I mean, it's not damaged underneath it. It just got a good little scratch on that, and I was planning on pulling that thing off and moving it somewhere else anyways. And the same with the one on this side. Just kind of move them, get rid of them.
Now, I contacted the dealer and got a breakdown of how much everything was going to cost, all the parts. Okay, so now let's go through the breakdown of why it costs so much. Now, we had talked about the tank and how much the tank was, but all the rest of the parts. When I was talking with my insurance company, they had mentioned that if I went through the dealer and the dealer found anything more and they had to submit anything more to the claim, that the bike would probably get totaled out, which is insane. So the total cost of everything would have been, if I went through the dealer, this claim was if it went through the dealer and it was repaired back to factory, would be $11,767.68. Now, like I said, that's if it was repaired with all OEM parts. And a few of the things was replacement winglets, the clutch cover. Clutch cover itself is $950 or $990. I don't know where they got this price right here for the winglets, but they're quoting the winglets at $1,500.91. That's probably all the fairings that go along with it. That part of the frame, that looked like it was dented, $1,900.70. The fuel tank right here, they've got it quoted at $38.96 and 13, but that's not including, that's just the tank itself. That's not including shipping and the taxes and everything that goes along with that. To replace the rear set for the brake is $172, and the subtotal for those parts there is $8,621.29. Now, part of the cost that probably would have been resubmitted, and why I didn't go through the dealer, was they're quoting it at 27 hours at $75 an hour. Now, if you've ever gone and taken your Ducati to the dealer and saw actual labor rates, it's a lot higher than that. So that's why ultimately I didn't go through the dealer, and I've gone and done a lot of the repairs myself, like repairing the fuel tank. It's an aluminum tank, so it can be welded. Now, originally I thought maybe I could do it myself, the welding, but talking to some professionals that I know, they were like, no, you can't MIG weld that tank because it's really, really thin. It has to be TIG welded. And that's where I found that local welder here in my area, which is really difficult to come across, and finding anybody who would be willing to even touch the Ducati tank was difficult. I called like 6 different people to find out if they could, or if they'd be willing to. They could, but if they'd be willing to. And fuel tanks are something that is not a item that you really want to weld on. Obviously, it holds fuel, and the gas vapors are dangerous. You know, and it's especially since they're in a confined space. So you have to use argon to flush it out, and you have to do a lot of prep work to make sure that all the fuel's out. And there's a lot of different sections within this tank that can hold fuel. It took me forever to go and prep this tank. I wanted to make sure that everything was ready for the guy welding it. So I removed the fuel pump, all the check valve, there's a check valve on the tank, and a lot of other little things that are on the tank that need to be removed. That way, when I took it to him, it was ready to go. I went and I prepped the area, cleaned all the paint off, and then I just got it ready for him. And he was very thankful for that. But, so there's the breakdown. When I was talking to the guy who welded up the crack, he took a look at it because I mentioned that it's $4,300 to buy a brand new one from Ducati, coming straight from Italy. He took a step back and was like, oh man, I should have charged more. And he was like, why is it that much? It didn't make sense to him until he started looking at the welds. The fuel tank is actually hand welded. So there's why it costs so much, is somebody sits there and TIG welds the whole tank together. And there's a lot of different passages and whatnot that you see in the video. Hopefully that right there doesn't scare anybody away from owning a Ducati. Just don't let your 12-year-old go and move your bike around. All right, now, till next time. We'll catch you on the next ride. Like, comment, subscribe. Later.